Let's talk about the new EA Sports College Football 25 trailer release. But hey, we got an official trailer, which is pretty cool. It's kind of like our first tangible evidence of, hey, man, this thing's actually happening. Let's go. So, what are your thoughts on this game?
So I'm excited to finally bring college football back, and I'm hoping they bring college basketball back too, because both those games are awesome. Do some March Madness. The only thing I have is the only concerns I have is that it's EA, and EA announced, "Hey, we're gonna have Ultimate Team in this game," and I thought immediately to myself, "Great, the gameplay is going to be terrible. They're only going to care about Ultimate Team and making all the microtransaction money." And they even talked about adding, legends in there like Reggie Bush and all that in here. So great, people are just going to be purchasing the Reggie Bush card and like just playing Ultimate Team, not caring about what makes NCAA so great, and that's the dynasty. Playing a dynasty, building a program up to prominence. That's the fun of college football, recruiting, all these things. That's what makes it so special. You don't get it anywhere else. So another thing about the college game, Shoob, is college games always felt different than the Madden games in their play style and just in general, even though they're both made by EA. Now, what I'm concerned with is that it's just going to be copy and paste Madden. Really hope not. Really hope not. I hope there's at least some different mechanics in it. I heard it's on the same gaming engine, which usually means it's going to be like the same. But man, I hope they at least bring a unique feel to the gameplay. The biggest thing I want, man, other than bust and gems and all that to be a little bit revamped, is players don't automatically get better every season. There's a different talent threshold. Like they can get better, they can get significantly better, worse, whatever the case may be. I want all that, man. And then trying to fight off Ohio State from paying my running back $1 million to transfer. I mean, I'm all for it. Let's go.
You saw that meme when that feeling when your star wide receiver goes to Ohio State for $1 million and gets a Hellcat.
Yeah.
I have a few takes on this, I guess. And a lot of people, I'm sure, probably are interested in hearing our takes on this, especially since I, run a dynasty on this channel with the OG NCAA 14 game. And I have a few angles on this. One, just as a pure fan, just as a pure college football fan, I am excited. 100%, I am excited about this game because it is just an official game with all the modern implementations of the sport that's going to be in it. That's what I am really excited about. As a content creator on this channel with an existing NCAA 14 dynasty, I'm a little wishy-washy about it, to be honest. I will say this. I do care about the game a lot for sure, and NCAA 14 was a great game. It was a great game for so many reasons, and that's why I chose to do a dynasty on it, because it's one of those games that will test time. Like I'm still here playing it, over a decade later now almost, and they've made a ton of modifications to it through, college football revamped. Like those guys created a little syndicate to basically revamp the game, modernize the uniforms, update the rosters, etc. And they did all that for free. There's so much passion that went into that whole effort from college football revamped to modernize NCAA 14 that I decided it motivated me to start a dynasty on this channel and, kept that going. And it made me realize how much I just love that game, man. I freaking love that game. That game will always have a place in my heart. But for the same reason that you said, it's EA Sports, man. I have a very healthy skepticism about the new game. And you know what? Even if EA Sports does do a good job, let's say they do a good job of this game, and there is the passion that goes into that game like there was with college football revamped, which, we don't know. Who are the people making this game? We don't know if they share the same passion about college football. Like a great game is always one that has people who are building it that are actually passionate about the game and what the game is trying to replicate and give you that experience. And so far, I will say, they've done it. I've heard that they're definitely placing emphasis on the college atmospheres, the fight songs, etc., the traditional stuff. That's good. That's what, like you said, that's what makes college football great and separates it from the pros. But if they just sort of copy and paste the Madden engine in there and, they set up Ultimate Team stuff with microtransactions, it's EA Sports after all. There's a very strong likelihood that's all going to be in the game.
They already said that's going to be in the game.
They did say it was going to be in the game. So we do know that. And on top of that, this is the first version of the game. This is the first iteration that's coming out here like this year. There's no chance that EA Sports said, yeah, we're going to try to perfect this game on the very first version of it after 10 years of there not being a game. There's no shot. This game is going to be imperfect for sure. There are going to be defects, and it is not going to be one that they put all of their emphasis to get it to top-notch like replication of college football at its best in this version of the game. And they know that because one, I mean, you just can't do that when it's the first game and they release games year after year after. Like, it's a business model. Like, you have to have something else in the next version of the game for them to, you know, improve on and say, oh, well, this year we're going to be adding this and we're going to be adding this, and gets people hooked in to keep buying the game.
You got to think about this too, Shoob, because this is what happened with Madden, and this is why Madden has been the same terrible game for the last 10 years. I mean, it hasn't changed much. Madden, because EA has no competitors in the market, they have, you know, a whole cornerstone on the NFL, or monopoly on the NFL, and now they're going to have that same thing with college football. What's their incentive to even make the game better from year to year when they know all they do is really just update the rosters and then like maybe add a couple animations and you'll still buy it because there's nothing else?
Exactly. And that's my point.
That's what happened
There's
with
no
Madden.
incentive to change it.
Exactly. Yeah.
There's no incentive to make the game perfect up front. And on top of that, they might not even bother to do that. And they have all the leverage in the world. They know no matter what kind of product they put out, there's going to be people like you and me that are going to buy that game no matter what.
Mm-hmm. And then begrudgingly play it even if it sucks. That's what Madden is. Like, people are like, well, I hate this game, but hey, it's Madden and I don't have any other options. It's not like NBA 2K and NBA Live. I don't have two options here. Also, this game that comes out, it's going to be what it is for the next 10 years at least, because we've seen what it's like with Madden. So whatever this NCAA game is, don't expect much of a change for 10 years.
Yeah, and I know we're being negative Nancy's right now, but I think we're old enough and we're mature enough to see different versions of games that EA has put out. Not just sports games, like Star Wars Battlefront. I'm a huge Star Wars fan personally. Battlefront 2.
And they went heavy with microtransaction in Battlefront too.
Listen, all we're saying is I've learned from 27 years of these games that get really hyped up, because there's been a handful of them in our lifetimes that like we've got, like, they get a lot of hype and they usually don't deliver more often than not. And I'm like, I really am just have a healthy skepticism about this game. But don't get me wrong, I'm gonna play it. Like, no matter what happens, I'm gonna play it. And in fact, let's look on the bright side here. We are going to always have this game, and if, let's say, it doesn't work out, we always have NCAA 14 to fall back on. At least I have college football revamped and all the mods installed on my PS3. I can always fall back on that, which makes me really happy. But the bright side of this is, you and me have been talking about this a lot. When that game comes out, I mean, listen, the NCAA 14 Dynasty with Illinois, I really don't know what I'm going to end up doing with that. I want to finish out season 5. I've sort of been like floating that out there the last few weeks on the channel. I plan on starting it back up and finishing season 5 minimally. But once this new game comes out, it might be time to start, you know, an online dynasty between you and myself here and make it a series on the channel. And that's what we've been talking about. So let us know if you're listening to the podcast or you're watching this video. Let us know in the comments what are your thoughts about that, because as of right now, that would be our plan to, out of the gate, to sort of get on top of this game and start playing and put out content for you guys that are interested in seeing.
And we have a few teams. Each of us have a few teams that we're interested in playing with, so we could put a poll up if y'all are interested, and you guys can vote and pick which teams we go with.
Yeah, we'll see. What do you think, a G5 or P5 or P4?
I'm thinking, I think, like, I want to run it through kind of the lens that you painted. Here is the coach, you know, and you can make it whatever. It's his alma mater, just like your Illinois one, and he's trying to like bring up his alma mater. Or you can be like, this is a coach from a ragtag, whatever. Give him a nice little backstory, and maybe his aspiration is to, like, you know, jump up to wherever, and the aspiration for one coach is to get to is like his alma mater, basically. We can come up with our own little backstory. I mean, you did a great job with the Illinois. And I think having varying backstories is really good for getting people nice and engaged, because there's a lot of good content that we have coming out for you guys, and we'll have some storylines going on too. Yeah, I mean, we got a good plan for it.
So I guess if you describe your thoughts on this new game in one word to wrap it up here, what's one word you want to say to describe like your thoughts and feelings about this new game?
Excited.
I'll give you 2 words. How about that?
Cautiously optimistic.
Good answer. Good answer. I'll say healthy skepticism. So we basically just
Basically
said the
same
same thing.
ballpark. Yeah.
Yin and yang.